The 18th Amendment to the United States Constitution took effect on January 17, 1920. This marked the beginning of Prohibition, an era in American history when the manufacture, sale and transportation of alcoholic beverages were illegal. The Volstead Act, passed by Congress to enforce the amendment, defined intoxicating liquors as any beverage containing more than 0.5% alcohol. Prohibition was the culmination of a long and powerful temperance movement which believed that alcohol was the root of many social ills. Proponents of prohibition argued that it would reduce crime, poverty, and domestic violence. They envisioned a healthier, more moral America. However, prohibition's impact on American society was far more complex and far-reaching than anyone could have predicted. The movement to ban alcohol in America was fueled by a confluence of factors. Religious groups like the Protestant churches viewed alcohol as a sin and a corrupting influence on society. They believed that it led to poverty, crime, and the breakdown of families. The progressive era, with its emphasis on social reform, also played a significant role. Progressives saw prohibition as a way to improve public health and morality. They believed that it would create a more efficient and productive workforce. World War I provided further impetus for prohibition. The need to conserve grain for the war effort and the anti-German sentiment directed at breweries owned by German immigrants contributed to the growing support for a nationwide ban on alcohol. Prohibition gave rise to a vast and profitable black market for alcohol. Bootleggers, individuals who illegally produced, transported, or sold liquor, thrived during this period. They smuggled liquor from Canada, Mexico, and the Caribbean, and they also set up illegal distilleries to produce their own. Speakeasies, hidden bars, and nightclubs became commonplace in cities across the country. These clandestine establishments provided a place for people to socialize, drink, and enjoy live music. The Jazz Age flourished in speakeasies, with legends like Louis Armstrong and Duke Ellington providing the soundtrack for the Roaring Twenties. Organized crime syndicates, recognizing the lucrative opportunities presented by Prohibition, quickly moved in to control the illegal liquor trade. Notorious gangsters like Al Capone in Chicago and Lucky Luciano in New York City amassed vast fortunes through bootlegging, gambling, and other rackets. Section 4, the unintended consequences from moonshine to organized crime. While Prohibition succeeded in reducing the consumption of alcohol in the United States, it also had a number of unintended and negative consequences. The production of illegal liquor, often referred to as moonshine, posed serious health risks. Without proper regulation or quality control, moonshine could be dangerously potent or contaminated with dangerous substances. The rise of organized crime was perhaps the most significant unintended consequence of Prohibition. The vast profits from the illegal liquor trade allowed criminal syndicates to expand their operations, corrupt law enforcement officials, and engage in violence and intimidation with impunity. Prohibition also had a corrosive effect on American society. It bred disrespect for the law and undermined the authority of the government. It also fueled hypocrisy, as many of those who publicly supported Prohibition continued to drink in private. Section 5. The end of an era. The repeal of Prohibition. By the early 1930s, public support for Prohibition had waned considerably. The Great Depression, which began in 1929, highlighted the economic costs of Prohibition. The loss of tax revenue from alcohol sales was sorely missed by state and federal governments struggling to cope with the economic crisis. Moreover, the unintended consequences of Prohibition, particularly the rise of organized crime and the increase in violence, convinced many Americans that the noble experiment had failed. In 1933, the 21st Amendment to the Constitution was ratified, repealing the 18th Amendment and bringing an end to Prohibition in the United States.